Most men do not get destroyed by a singular catastrophic event. You are prepared for a war. You are prepared for a fist fight. You are prepared for a financial crash. But you are not prepared for the slow, silent erosion of your soul within the four walls of your own home. The destruction of a man is rarely a loud explosion. It is a quiet, agonizing process of dismantling his spirit, piece by piece, day by day, by the very person he swore to protect. It is the tragedy of the good man, the provider, the protector, the man who wakes up at 6 a.m., grinds through traffic, deals with the stress of the world, and builds a kingdom, only to come home to a woman who is acting as a termite in the foundation of his life. You think you are building a legacy, but you are actually building a prison. And the worst part, you handed her the keys. Imagine this scenario, because I know many of you are living it right now. You are sitting in your car in the driveway. The engine is off, the house lights are on. You can see the silhouette of your wife or girlfriend in the window. And instead of feeling relief that you are finally home, you feel a tightening in your chest. You feel a heavy, suffocating dread. You take a deep breath, checking your phone, checking the time, delaying the moment you have to walk through that front door. Why? Because you know that the moment you cross that threshold, the peace ends. You are walking into a minefield where the rules constantly change, where your silence is interpreted as anger and your words are twisted into weapons. You are tired, not physically tired, though you are that too, but you are spiritually exhausted from trying to fill a cup that has a hole in the bottom. We are fed a lie from the moment we are born. Disney, Hollywood, society, they all tell us that love conquers all. They tell us that if you are just patient enough, kind enough, and loving enough, you can fix her. You can save her from her demons. This is the most dangerous lie a man can believe. Love does not conquer pathology. Love does not cure narcissism. Love does not rewrite the neural pathways of a woman who has been conditioned to view men as utilities or emotional punching bags. By believing you can save her, you are volunteering to be the collateral damage in her war against herself. You are not her therapist. You are not her father. You are a man with a mission, and nothing will derail that mission faster than anchoring yourself to a woman who thrives on chaos. This video is not about misogyny. It is not about hate. It is about survival. It is about the preservation of your sanity, your resources, and your dignity. There are specific psychological archetypes, patterns of behavior deeply rooted in unhealed trauma and modern entitlement that are mathematically guaranteed to bring ruin to a man's life. If you do not learn to spot these archetypes in the first 3 months of dating, you will wake up in 10 years, divorced, alienated from your children, and financially gutted, wondering how the love of your life became your executioner. We are going to perform a deep psychological autopsy on these 6 types of women. This is the education your father never gave you. But before we descend into the darkness, I need you to understand something. The information I am about to give you is considered taboo by the mainstream. The algorithms suppress this content because they want weak, compliant men who apologize for their masculinity. They want you desperate for validation. If you want to unplug from the lies, if you want to arm yourself with the truth about female psychology and intersexual dynamics, you need to align yourself with this channel. Subscribe right now. Turn on the notification bell. This isn't just a YouTube channel. This is a fortress of knowledge for men who are waking up. By hitting that button, you are signaling to yourself that you are done being the victim. You are done being the nice guy who finishes last. Join the brotherhood. Let's dissect the first trap. The first type is the most seductive because she hijacks your biological instinct to be a hero. This is the trauma vampire. When you first meet her, she doesn't appear malicious. In fact, she appears to be the most vulnerable, sweet, and fragile creature you have ever seen. She opens up to you quickly, too quickly. On the first or second date, she is already telling you about her horrific childhood, her abusive ex-boyfriends, the toxic friends who betrayed her. She paints a picture of a world that has been cruel to her innocence. And you, being a strong, capable man, you feel a surge of protective energy. You think to yourself, she has just been unlucky. She hasn't met a real man yet. I will be the one to show her what true love is. I will heal her. Gentlemen, this is the trap. You are walking into a burning building without a fire suit. The trauma vampire is not looking for a solution to her problems. She is looking for a host for her pain. Her entire identity is constructed around being a victim. If you actually solved her problems, she wouldn't know who she is anymore. So what happens? The moment you provide stability, she subconsciously manufactures chaos. You will notice a pattern. Every time things are going well, every time there is a period of peace, she will suddenly pick a fight over nothing. She will spiral into a depressive episode. She will accuse you of not caring. Why? because she is addicted to the chemicals of distress. Peace feels boring to her. Peace feels unfamiliar. She weaponizes her trauma to escape accountability. If she cheats on you, it's because she has abandonment issues and needed reassurance. If she screams at you and throws things, it's because she was triggered and you should have known better. You cease to be her partner and become her unpaid 24-hour crisis counselor. You will spend nights holding her while she cries, listening to the same circular complaints for hours, neglecting your sleep, your gym routine, and your business. You give and give, thinking, eventually she will get better. She won't. She is a black hole. You will pour your light into her until you are dark. And once you are empty, she will discard you for a new source of energy, telling the next man that you were the one who didn't support her. Never fall in love with the potential. Fall in love with reality. If she is broken, let her heal on her own. You cannot save her. The second archetype is the master of psychological torture, the phantom. This relationship starts with an explosion of chemistry that feels like destiny. This is often called the honeymoon phase, but with the phantom, it is love bombing. She mirrors you perfectly. She likes the music you like. She laughs at everything you say. The physical intimacy is off the charts. You feel seen. You feel understood. You think, finally, I found the one. She texts you good morning. She texts you good night. She sends you memes all day. She is flooding your brain with dopamine. She is getting you addicted to her presence. But then the shift happens. It usually happens the moment you show real vulnerability or ask for a deeper commitment. The moment things get real, she turns into a ghost. The texts stop coming instantly. The replies become one-word answers. Cool. Okay, LOL. You ask to see her and she's busy or tired or needs space. You are left confused, staring at your phone, rereading old messages, wondering what you did wrong. You start to chase. You double text. You ask, are we okay? This is exactly where she wants you. This is the push-pull dynamic, and it creates a trauma bond in your brain that is harder to break than a cocaine addiction. This type of woman has an avoidant attachment style. She craves the validation of being wanted, but she is terrified of the engulfment of a relationship. She wants you on the shelf. She wants to know that you are there, waiting for her, pining for her, but she has no intention of actually being with you in a meaningful way. She will keep you in a state of starvation, throwing you barely enough breadcrumbs of affection to keep you from leaving. You will waste years of your prime waiting for the old her to come back. The old her never existed. That was a mask she wore to secure your attention. The cold, distant, confusing woman you see now, that is the reality. Believe it and walk away. We are living in the age of digital narcissism, and type 3 is the queen of this domain, the public performer. This is the woman who does not live in reality. She lives in the simulation of social media. When you are out to dinner with her, she isn't looking into your eyes. She is looking at the lighting to see if it's good for a story. She isn't enjoying the food. She is arranging it for a photo. You are not her boyfriend. You are her prop. You are the cameraman. You are the accessory that signals her status to other women. This sounds superficial, but the psychological implications are deadly. A woman who is obsessed with external validation is incapable of loyalty. Why? Because loyalty requires depth, and she lives on the surface. Her self-worth is entirely dependent on the dopamine hits she gets from likes, comments, and DM requests. You are just one source of attention. If you and she get into an argument, she has thousands of orbiters, simps and thirsty men in her DMs, waiting to tell her how beautiful she is. She has an endless supply of Plan B options. This makes her incredibly arrogant and impossible to reason with. Furthermore, there is no sanctity in your relationship. If you have a private fight, she will post a cryptic quote on her story to garner sympathy from her followers. She will air your dirty laundry to the world because she values audience engagement more than she values your dignity. She invites the public into your bedroom. You will never feel secure because she is constantly advertising herself to the market. She is single until married in her mind, even if she is living in your house. A woman who belongs to everybody cannot belong to you. If she cannot put the phone down and be present in the moment, she is not ready for a serious relationship. She is married to the algorithm. Real love is a partnership. It is two people against the world. But for the scorekeeper, a relationship is a courtroom, and she is the prosecutor, the judge, and the jury. This woman has a memory like a steel trap, but only for your mistakes. She keeps a mental ledger of every slight, every error, every forgotten anniversary, and every argument you have ever had since 2015. Nothing is ever forgiven. It is only filed away to be used as ammunition. when she needs to win an argument. Living with the scorekeeper is like living in a high-security prison where you are constantly on parole. You can never relax. You can never be human. If you make a small mistake today, like forgetting to pick up the dry cleaning, she won't just be mad about the dry cleaning. She will bring up that time you were late to her sister's wedding 3 years ago. She will connect dots that don't exist to paint a picture of you as a failure. She uses the past to beat you into submission in the present. This is a control tactic. By keeping you constantly defensive, constantly apologizing for things that happened years ago, she maintains the upper hand. Her love is entirely transactional. It is if-then. If you buy her this car, then she will be affectionate. If you take her on this vacation, then she will stop complaining. You are not a human being to her, you are a utility. As long as the utility functions and provides resources, she is content. But the moment the utility struggles, maybe you lose your job, maybe you get sick, her resentment boils over immediately. She has no concept of for better or for worse. It is only for better. You cannot build a life with someone who views your relationship as a balance sheet. You will eventually go bankrupt trying to pay a debt that she ensures never gets cleared. Type 5 is often a high-achieving, intelligent woman, which makes her attractive to high-value men. But do not be fooled. The emasculator views the relationship not as a union, but as a power struggle that she must win. She has a deep-seated contempt for masculinity, yet she wants a masculine man. This creates a toxic paradox. She wants you to be the leader, but she fights every decision you make. She wants you to be strong, but she belittles you when you show strength. She will subtly undermine you in public. Watch how she talks to you when you are around friends or family. Does she interrupt you? Does she correct your stories? Does she make jokes that are actually thinly veiled insults about your competence or your intelligence? This is a dominance display. She is signaling to the tribe that she creates the rules, not you. In private, she will attack your dreams. You tell her about a new business idea, and instead of support, she gives you realism. She lists all the reasons why it will fail. She kills your ambition under the guise of helping you. This woman is competing with you. If you get a promotion, she immediately has to talk about her success. She cannot stand to be in a supporting role. She needs to be the captain, but she wants you to row the boat. This dynamic will castrate you psychologically. Over time, you will stop sharing your thoughts. You will stop leading. You will become passive to avoid conflict. You will become the yes, dear man, a shell of your former self. A woman who cannot respect your leadership, who cannot let you lead without fighting you for the steering wheel, will eventually drive both of you off a cliff. Finally, we have the Type 6, arguably the most exhausting of them all, the chaos manufacturer. This woman grew up in a household where love was equated with volatility. To her, a stable, calm, peaceful relationship feels like death. It feels like you don't care. She needs high highs and low lows to feel alive. If you are a stoic, calm man who brings stability, she will subconsciously try to break your frame just to see if you will react. She will start arguments at the worst possible times, right before you have a big meeting, right before you go to sleep, or on your birthday. She thrives on drama. She will create triangular situations with other men just to make you jealous. She will accuse you of things you didn't do just to get a rise out of you. She is an arsonist who burns down the house just to see if you will run into the fire to save her. If you stay with a chaos manufacturer, your cortisol levels will be permanently elevated. You will age faster. Your testosterone will drop because of the chronic stress. You cannot build an empire if you are constantly putting out fires at home. A man needs his home to be a sanctuary, a place of rest and recharge. With her, home is a war zone. You will find yourself staying late at work just to avoid going home. You will find yourself sitting in that car in the driveway, dreading the moment you have to walk inside. Do not do this to yourself. Peace is not a luxury. It is a necessity for a high-value man. Gentlemen, knowledge without action is useless. You now have the map. You know where the landmines are buried, but knowing is only half the battle. The hardest part is having the iron will to act on what you see. Because here is the truth. These women can be incredibly attractive. They can be charismatic. They can be great in bed. Your biology will scream at you to stay. Your fear of loneliness will beg you to overlook the red flags. You will tell yourself, but I love her, or but we have history. You must kill the boy inside of you who needs a mommy and wake up the man who needs a partner. You must understand that you cannot love a woman into sanity. You cannot save someone who does not want to be saved. The most powerful negotiating position in life is the ability to walk away and mean it. When you spot these patterns, the trauma dumping, the hot and cold games, the social media addiction, the scorekeeping, the competition, the chaos, you must execute the withdrawal of attention. Do not argue. Do not try to explain. Do not write her a long letter. You simply remove your access. Your time, your attention, and your resources are the most valuable things on this planet. Stop throwing them into a black hole. Raise your standards. Be comfortable in the silence of your own company. Build your purpose, build your body, build your bank account, and wait for the woman who brings peace, who protects your peace, and who complements your mission. Until then, hold the line. Stay sharp, stay stoic.